Verse 43. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But he shall have power over means to rule. A primitive root to rule, have, make to have, dominion, governor, reign over, have power. In Isaiah chapter 19 verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And in Daniel 11:3, and a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. The treasures of gold and of silver and precious things means wealth. And Isaiah 39 verse 2, and Hezekiah was glad of them, and showed them the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices, and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. The Libyans and the Ethiopians equals poor and rich nations. In Job 28:18-19, no mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Isaiah 45:14, thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabeans, men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure. The rich and poor will come under the power of the papacy, and it will control the wealth of the nations. Indeed, one of the principles and philosophy of the papacy is to get the wealth of the rich nations and share it amongst the poor of the poorer nations, so that the whole world is equal in its wealth. In Revelation chapter 13, 16 and 17, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That means all will come under the jurisdiction of the papacy. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Secondary application is military strength. In Jeremiah 46:9, come up, ye horses, and rage, ye chariots, and let the mighty men come forth, the Ethiopians and the Libyans that handle the shield, and the Lydians that handle and bend the bow. Ezekiel 38:4-5, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Revelation 17 tells us that there will be 10 kings. These 10 kings give power and authority for 1 hour with the beast. This means this whole 10 kings represents the whole nations of the world. They give their wealth, their power, their military strength to put the papacy on the world dominion. Leading men of earth attack God's people. In the time of trouble, we all fled from the cities and villages, but were pursued by the wicked, who entered the houses of the saints with a sword. I saw the leading men of the earth consulting together, and Satan and his angels busy around them. I saw a writing, copies of which were scattered in different parts of the land, giving orders that unless the saints should yield their peculiar faith, give up the Sabbath, and observe the first day of the week, the people were at liberty after a certain time to put them to death. Early Writings, page 282. At his steps means to follow in the same spirit. 2 Corinthians 12:18. I desired Titus, and with him I sent a brother. Did Titus make a gain of you? Walked we not in the same spirit? Walked we not in the same steps? 1 Peter 2:21, for even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. Leaders will follow Rome. The Sunday movement is now making its way in darkness. The leaders are concealing the true issues, and many who unite in the movement do not themselves see whither the undercurrent is tending. They are working in blindness. They do not see that if a Protestant government sacrifices the principles that have made them a free, independent nation, and through legislation brings into the Constitution principles that will propagate papal falsehood and papal delusion, they are plunging into the Roman horrors of the Dark Ages. Last Day Events, page 125. Again, brethren, this is why we need to get the book Great Controversy out to the people. Protestants will throw their whole influence and strength on the side of the papacy. By a national act enforcing the full Sabbath, they will give life and vigour to the corrupt faith of Rome, reviving her tyranny and oppression of conscience. Maranatha, page 179. Summary. But he shall have power over the treasures of the gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Or in other words, the papacy will have control over the economic wealth of the nations and over who can buy or sell throughout the world. Rich and poor alike will follow the beast power and give their military strength to her, that she might enforce Sunday legislation, eventually imposing a death decree. Verse 44, but tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many. Tidings, what does it mean? Isaiah chapter 40 verse 9. O Zion that bringeth good tidings. Get thee up into the high mountain, O Jerusalem that bringest good tidings. Lift up thy voice with strength. Lift it up and be not afraid. Say unto the cities of Judah, behold your God. Tidings means news or a message. Out of the east. Isaiah 41:2. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. Ezekiel 43:2. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like a noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. Matthew 24:27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And in Revelation chapter 7:2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And out of the north, in Ezekiel 44 verse 4, then brought he me the way of the north, gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of the Lord lifted the house of the Lord, and I fell upon my face. Psalm 48 verse 1 and 2, great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountains of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth, is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great King. Isaiah 41:25 and 27, I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come from the rising of the sun, shall he call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them, and I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. And Jeremiah 3:18, in those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north, to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. And what happens from the east and the north? They trouble him. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12 to 16, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the